Well, I mean, this is the woman who knows what he means by he has to work late, honey. And she was his producer when he was on Fox and Friends Weekend. So she's ripe for the position of his handler, but she hasn't been vetted. We don't know what could be exploited within her, and he's taking her to all of these high profile, highly classified confidential meetings. But this does give us a little bit more insight into why he won't let go of the signal chat. His real boss doesn't seem to want to let him. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's dig into the article. The wife of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth took an active role in managing his public appearances and even crafting messages issued by the Department of Defense itself, a new report claimed on Wednesday. Jennifer Rotchett, the Washington Post reported, often acts as a go between who transmits her husband's plans to agency staffers. The former Fox News producer does not hold an official position at the Pentagon, but has been identified as a constant presence at the agency over the past several months. The Wall Street Journal first reported in March that Rotchett was present at two meetings between her husband and his foreign military counterparts where sensitive information was discussed. At the time, the Pentagon declined to say if she had any kind of security clearance, which some spouses of officials sometimes do. So we already know who the brains of the operation is and why he's not leaving this one. She's running the show. Why didn't Congress just confirm her? You know what? I know why. Now, the Post reports that Rotchett is involved in at least two group chats using the public encrypted Signal messaging app with Pentagon appointees and at times has directed agency staffers directly on managing the secretary's image via social media. Well, how about you tell him to stop showing unreleased memos all over the place and maybe stop taking half days to go work out. You know what, bro, you putting in overtime, so I guess that's why he can go off and just look pretty. You got you a good trophy husband, didn't you? We would always hear that she was saying what kind of videos he should be doing and what kind of statements he should be doing and how the press should be handled, one unnamed person told the press. Her inclusion in one Signal group chat was just one of several problematic factors which snowballed into a scandal over the Trump administration's use of the group messaging app earlier this year. You mean a couple weeks ago? Hegseth, along with other top U.S. officials, including National Security Advisor Michael Waltz and Vice President J.D. Vance, was outed as a member of the Signal text chain on which specific sensitive information about U.S. plans to attack Yemen were discussed prior to those attacks taking place. Also on the text chain, accidentally, was the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, who reported the messages after the attack that Trump decided to go and sit down and have an interview with. And let's not forget how Pete is labeling these things. It's very high school bro code. It's like, America, red pill. Though Rotchett was not part of the primary text chain, she was on a separate chain with Hegseth's brother, Phil Hegseth, a Pentagon appointee working as liaison with DHS and the secretary's personal lawyer. On that second chain, the secretary reportedly shared very similar information about the attack prior to it being carried out. So it wasn't exactly a copy and paste. And as far as his brother, Phil, he's basically producing podcasts, but okay. The breach in security has dragged the administration down for weeks and led to calls especially for the resignation of Hegseth, who shared the attack plans on the text chain, as well as similar condemnation of Waltz for his apparent erroneous inclusion of Goldberg in his messages. President Donald Trump has expressed his support for the two officials. Well, in the case of Waltz, they blamed some random arbitrary female staffer and let her go. But Rotchett's inclusion in the text chains and continued presence at the Pentagon may in fact be a more significant issue for the administration. The Pentagon has not explained her role at the agency or completed a formal inquiry into whether any of the information shared in the two chains was classified, which Hegseth and others have strongly denied. The agency's inspector general launched an investigation in early April, which has yet to reach a conclusion because they're stonewalling everything. And Republicans on Capitol Hill just passed a new rule prohibiting Democrats to even be able to request investigations into the Trump administration. But, transparency, right? A DoD spokeswoman told The Independent in response to the Post reporting, Secretary Hegseth has delivered more victories in the DoD in 100 days than most secretaries have in 4 years. We are focused on results. What are the victories? Renaming shit that didn't need to be renamed? Removing shit that didn't need to be removed? Fucking shit up that didn't need to be fucked up? Critics of the administration say that the case is a clear-cut example of Hegseth and others flouting long-standing Defense Department protocols and possibly violating the law regarding sharing of classified information. The most recent revelations about Hegseth having shared military plans with members of his personal circle demonstrates a brazen disdain for rules and protocols that Americans expect their leaders to follow. This is somebody who doesn't believe in germs because he can't see them, and he doesn't believe that war crimes are a thing. So, yeah. It also raises questions about whether Hegseth is prioritizing his own political or media ambitions over the interests of the American people. Of course he is. The nonprofit watchdog group American Oversight wrote in a statement, Republicans who currently control both chambers of Congress are not likely to begin their own investigation of the matter, but Democrats could easily do so if the party retakes control of the House or Senate in the 2026 midterms. This is why it is important for you to vote every time that a ballot is being printed. A number of former defense officials have said in interviews that at least some of the information shared by Hegseth in the initial signal chat was likely classified or should have been. The AP reported that some of the information was pulled by Hegseth from secure channel used by U.S. CENTCOM. It was already confirmed that the information was sent to him on secure channels and he took it off of there, and, incel's gonna incel. It is unheard of to have a Secretary of Defense committing these kind of serious security breaches, said former Defense Secretary and former CIA Director Leon Panetta. Developing attack plans for defense reasons is without question the most classified information you can have. And now everybody around the globe is just chomping at the bit because they know where the good old intel from, and they don't even have to send any spies over here.